My name is Daniel Cross. I'm 32. I live just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, and I work as a senior architect for a firm that prides itself on glass and steel, clean lines, and colder hearts. This is the story I've never told anyone. I call it, I thought she was crying, but then she said, "You make me feel alive again." It began on a Monday. The office was cold, even though it was spring outside. That fake kind of spring that pretends to promise something new, while the wind still cuts through your jacket and the trees stand naked and unbothered. I was reviewing a design brief when I heard the soft knock. 3 short taps, polite like a question. I looked up. She stepped in. Her name was Elise Maddox, new hire, transferred from the Toronto office. She was the kind of beautiful that wasn't obvious until it was all you could see. Her eyes weren't bright, but deep, not flirtatious, quiet, a storm behind glass. "I was told to meet with you about the Wilton project," she said. Her voice was low, steady, but something in her tone made me pause. We started working together that afternoon. Nothing unusual. I was professional. She was brilliant, but there was something. Not attraction, at least not at first. It was more like a magnetic tension, a hum under the surface. It built slowly, like thunder behind a mountain. Small glances, lingering silences. The way she'd stare out the window, lost in thought, as if trying to remember something she couldn't say. One night we worked late. The kind of late where the janitors had already come and gone, and the lights in the city made the windows feel like mirrors. I offered to walk her to her car. "Thanks," she said. "It's been a strange day." I nodded. "Rough client." She hesitated. "No, just my sister," she called. "We haven't spoken in a long time. Family stuff." That was the first personal thing she ever said. I don't know why it stuck with me, but it did. That night, I dreamed of her face, not smiling, not sad, just watching me. A few weeks passed. One Friday, our boss Miles, who'd never met a whiskey he didn't love, dragged half the team out to a rooftop bar. Elise came. She wore black with her hair down for the first time. I won't lie, I stared. A guy from accounting tried flirting with her. She smiled, but her eyes looked hollow. After a while, I found her sitting alone near the edge of the roof, looking down at the city. "You okay?" I asked. She didn't look at me. "You ever feel like none of this is real?" I laughed softly. "All the time." She finally looked at me, and that's when it happened. Her eyes shimmered, and I thought she was crying. But she wasn't. She smiled, the kind of smile that hurt to look at. And then she whispered, "You make me feel alive again." The next week was a blur. We didn't talk about it, but something shifted. She started waiting for me in the morning with coffee. I started walking her to her car every night. We shared playlists, jokes, stolen looks. Then came the night we kissed. It was raining, hard. We had just left a client dinner, and I offered her a ride. The windshield fogged up fast. I was rambling about nothing, traffic, the storm, when she suddenly reached over and touched my hand. "I haven't kissed anyone in 2 years, she said, "and I'm not sure if I want to break that now or never again." I didn't say anything. I just turned to her slowly, and in the quiet, wet dark of my car, she leaned in and kissed me like it meant something, like it was the only real thing she had left. But then, things changed. Not overnight. Gradually, she started missing calls, showing up late. Her jokes faded. Her silences grew longer. I found myself wondering, what did she mean that night? Alive again? What came before that? Then one night I followed her. Not in a creepy way, I swear. She said she had to take care of something and left the office early. I just wanted to know. I drove a few cars behind. She ended up at an old apartment building in Roxbury. I watched from the car as she stood outside, staring up at the second floor. Then a woman opened the window. Younger, blonde. They locked eyes for a second. Then Elise turned and walked away. She sat in her car for nearly 15 minutes before driving off. I didn't ask her about it until the next day. We were walking through the lobby when I said, "You okay? You left kind of suddenly yesterday." She paused. I saw my daughter. I stopped walking. She looked at me and said, "She doesn't know I'm her mother." I stood frozen in the middle of the lobby, trying to make sense of what she just said. Her daughter? Elise looked away, like she regretted saying it. The silence stretched between us, thick and fragile. "She's 7, she said quietly. "Lives with my sister now. I lost custody 2 years ago. After everything." I didn't ask what everything meant. Not then. Not yet. Instead, I followed her outside. We walked in silence to her car, the same rhythm of our steps oddly comforting. But when she turned to leave, I said the words before I even realized I was going to. "I'm not going anywhere." Her eyes welled up, but not the way you'd think. Not with relief or gratitude. No, they looked scared, as if my kindness only made things harder. Over the next few weeks, she told me more. In pieces. She'd been a rising star once. A brilliant young designer in Toronto. Married to a man twice her age. A respected partner at her firm. What started as mentorship turned into manipulation. And when she finally tried to leave, he turned her world into a courtroom. He was powerful, well-connected, and he wanted their daughter. She didn't lose custody because she was unfit. She lost because she was outmatched. Legally, financially, emotionally. She suffered a breakdown, left the firm, moved to Boston to start over. But she visited Roxbury once a month, just to see her daughter through that second-story window. "She doesn't even know me," Elise whispered one night as we lay tangled in my sheets. "She thinks I'm her aunt." I didn't know what to say, so I held her. That night, she cried into my chest until morning. The lines between us blurred quickly. We weren't hiding it anymore. The office didn't know yet, but they would have figured it out eventually. She'd bring me my favorite muffins in the morning. I'd memorize her coffee order. We spent weekends at my place watching old black and white films and cooking like we were playing house. But I also started noticing the cracks. She'd disappear sometimes. Emotionally, her eyes would go glassy. She'd drift off mid-sentence. Wake up in the middle of the night, breathing heavy, looking like she was still trapped in a courtroom in her head. One Saturday, she found a custody letter in the mail from her ex's attorney. A warning. She had breached the restraining order by being within 100 yards of the child's residence. Someone had seen her in Roxbury. Her hands were shaking as she showed me the envelope. "I didn't go inside," she kept saying. "I just looked." "That's not illegal, is it?" I didn't know, but I knew it didn't matter. The system didn't care about her version of the truth. I told her to stay with me for a few days. She didn't argue. Then one night, everything changed. It was raining again, the kind of storm that makes the city feel haunted. I got home late from a site inspection. My apartment door was cracked open. My heart stopped. "Elise!" I stepped inside. The lights were off, but I could hear something soft breathing. I followed the sound into the bedroom. She was sitting on the floor, clutching a photo. Her daughter. I bent down beside her. "What happened?" She didn't answer. "Elise," I whispered, "talk to me." "I went there again," she said, not looking up. "I didn't even get out of the car. But I think he saw me. He's gonna take me back to court. He said he'll get a restraining order across state lines this time." I took the photo gently from her hands and set it aside. "We'll figure it out." She looked up at me with this hollow kind of smile. "That's the thing, Daniel. I don't know if there is a we in this." And then she said the words that broke me. "You're the only good thing in my life right now, and I don't want to ruin you, too." I could have let her walk out that night, but I didn't. Instead, I got a lawyer. A good one. I cashed out my vacation days and helped her file for visitation rights again. It was uphill. It was messy. It was brutal. But 3 months later, 3 long months, she stood outside that same building in Roxbury, only this time not just watching. Her sister brought the little girl down. I stayed back by the car, pretending to scroll through my phone. The first thing the girl said when she looked up at Elise was, "You look like me." Elise laughed and cried at the same time. She crouched down, holding her daughter's tiny hand in hers. "I've waited so long to hear your voice," she said. "It's been a year since that day." Elise sees her daughter every other weekend now. They go to museums, bake cookies, build pillow forts. The shadows haven't vanished. Some pain never leaves completely, but there's light now, real light. And me? I still work at the firm. Same steel, same glass. But my world feels warmer. She still says it sometimes, when I least expect it, when we're laughing over takeout or watching her daughter fall asleep on the couch. She'll lean into me and whisper, "You make me feel alive again." Love doesn't always arrive wrapped in ribbon. Sometimes it shows up messy, fractured, bleeding at the edges. And yet, it's in those jagged pieces that you find the most honest kind of beauty. Not the love that saves you, the love that makes saving yourself worth it.